Hey friends, it's Len here at 1A Auto. Today we're working on our 2004 Volvo XC90 and we're going to be doing front sway bar links. It's going to be very simple. I can do it, you can do it too. If you need these or any other parts, you can always check us out at 1aauto.com. Thanks. Okay friends, so just a quick note, we're going to be doing a lot of videos and replacing parts on this particular vehicle. So if you happen to notice in the video that you're watching, all of a sudden the part just is brand new and it wasn't brand new before, odds are we cut out, we were doing another job, we replaced that part, we cut back in, and we're just showing you the stuff that you need to know to be able to do your particular replacement. Okay friends, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna loosen up the wheel. I've got my vehicle supported from the ground, but the wheel's still touching so that it can't spin while I do this. I'm just gonna use my 19 millimeter. I have a thin wall socket on there so it can squeeze in between the rim and the lug nut. I'm just gonna break it free. It's a tight one. That's the reason for doing it while it's still on the ground. If you try doing this up in the air, the wheel of course is gonna spin. Okay, so I've got 3 out of my 5 lug bolts out. This is what they look like right here. They screw directly into the wheel bearing. So once you take off this one right here, and then you go to take this one off, there's gonna be nothing holding this wheel on, so you need to pay attention to that. I'm just gonna take this one lug here, lug bolt, put it in a couple threads, and that's just so the wheel won't be able to come off and potentially hurt me. Push my wheel up against, just grab it. I'm holding the wheel so it can't fall down at this point. And we'll just grab it off and set it aside safely. So here we go friends. Let's go ahead and take this nut off right here. We're gonna use our 19 millimeter socket. I'm gonna use a 1/2-inch air gun. It's gonna make it much easier than trying to turn it with a ratchet. I've got my safety glasses and my hand protection of course. This loosened up quite a bit. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to get back here and I'm gonna see if I can get some locking pliers in to hold the stud, because as I try to turn the nut, it's just spinning the stud. I'm not sure if these will get in here. I like to have these as tight as possible. Odds are it's still gonna spin. I'll probably have to readjust it, but looks like it started a little bit more. So I just grabbed different locking pliers here. Just gonna see if I can get this as tight as possible. A little bit at a time, apparently. That's just the way it wants to go. I don't even think I can get these things tighter than they are. If you wanted to, you could try to apply a little bit of heat. The problem with that is that you don't want to apply heat to the strut itself. So, I mean, if you're over here blasting away, trying to heat up this nut, I mean, I guess if you came across the edge here and you were nowhere near this part, you might be able to get away with it. It's risky business because inside here is pressurized gas. So I'm gonna try everything I can without heat first, and we'll see what we have to do when we have to do it. Really doesn't seem like anything good's happening at this point. I'm gonna try to tighten this up, which might seem like it's counterintuitive, but once I get it tight and then re-blast it out, hopefully just the speed and the inertia and everything moving, it'll pull its way right off. Just give it another blast with this stuff. So I'm going on now. And nothing's happening. Okay. So I just applied a little bit of heat. I tried to go right along the edge here and just try to catch the edge of the nut. Once again, like I said, I was trying not to hit up against the strut itself. It's a pressurized gas unit. So we got that nut off of there. Get our tool off of here. Bonk, bonk. There's our lovely sway bar link end there. What was giving us all the trouble is when we were trying to squeeze on here, it was just literally spinning in the grips. It's very common. Right. So I'm gonna be preemptive with the heat on this one because I know that the upper side needed a little heat, and I have nothing to worry about here. As far as my heat's concerned, the ABS wire and everything is super far from this area. The closest thing we have is just the axle boot. So I'm not gonna heat going in this direction, trying to spray that way. I'm just gonna go right over here, and there's literally nothing around here that I have to worry about, except for maybe the bellows boot, but that's pretty far away. The nut on the lower side of this that we're doing right now is actually a 17 millimeter, which is different than the upper nut. I don't know why Volvo did that. I'm sure they have their own reasons. I'm no engineer. Just lowly old Len. Let's see if we can get this to come off. Get our safety glasses on. Okay, it's getting loose. Put our locking pliers in here. There we are. Get that sway bar link out of the way. Here we are, friends, a quick product comparison for you. Over here, we have our front sway bar link out of our 2004 Volvo XC90. We just removed it. And over here, we have our brand new quality 1A auto part. This comes with brand new nuts. These are locking nuts. The studs come the exact same as the originals, where up on top, the stud's a little thicker, and on the lower part, the stud's skinnier. That's why we had a bigger nut and a smaller nut. It's important to take note that the length of them is the same. That's super important. Obviously, you don't want to have one that only kind of goes that far. Anyway, comes with brand new boots. Like I said, brand new nuts. Comes with everything you need to mount. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't be a quality part to install into the vehicle, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. If you need this or any other part, you can always check us out at 1aauto.com. Thanks. Okay, so we've got our sway bar link. We'll put it up in here like this. This is the smaller side, the side with the small stud. Okay, you get that started. Now we're going to blast this on with a 15 millimeter socket. We've got our 15 on our 1/2 inch gun with some safety glasses. Tight. All right, so it's important to make sure that we have our ABS wire going along the outside of your sway bar link. You don't want it heading towards the inside there and getting all, pressed in there and whatever. So if you notice it doesn't really want to line up very well, you can just do something as simple as taking your pry bar, go up against the sway bar, and then anywhere you can find to pry up against. And you don't even need to really go very far, just like that. Just line it up so it's straight. I'm going to take my 18 millimeter socket. Let's see if I can get it on here. There we are. And now I'm just going to blast it on. Of course not. We're going to try it one more time. I'm going to try it with a little bit more gusto. And we'll leave it so it's just barely on there. And then I'm going to blast it. And that's a no. Okay. So I put some locking pliers on here. I'm going to be careful not to damage my brand new boot. And we're just going to go ahead and try to blast this on. There we are. So now that we finished up that job, what you would do is you'd go over the other side of the vehicle, assuming you're doing the same thing on the other side. Repeat the same procedure. Easy peasy. Grab your wheels, put them on, torque them down the road you go. Easy peasy. Okay, so now to make it easier to get the wheel up on here, where we don't have the lug studs that are sticking out and you put your wheel up on and it just kind of holds the wheel nice and easy for you. You don't have to stand there and hold it forever. Volvo decided to make it fun and interesting and, make you work your muscles a little bit. Well, 1A Auto sells this awesome tool. And basically all these are is they're gonna give you a lug stud. So when you're putting your wheel on, you just slide your wheel right over this and it's gonna kind of hold it there. So you don't have to sit there and try to muscle it the whole time while you try to line up the holes and put your lug stud in, or lug bolt. So I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna grab my wheel, bring it right over. Hold on to one of my lug nuts. Just gonna bring this up, slide it right over that. Boy, oh boy, that made it easy. So now we just take our lug bolt, put our wheel up against there, start this in, hopefully. I should have grabbed one of my sockets. It would have made my life a little easier here. There we are. And even though I was holding the wheel steady that whole time, I didn't have to have my whole body holding it, try to line it up while I'm staring into the hole and put this through. Thank you, 1A Auto. So we'll just start all these lug nuts in, and then we'll bottom them out, torque them down. Okay, we've got all the lug nuts bottomed out. Now we'll just bring the vehicle back down so the wheel's touching the ground, but without full force of the vehicle's weight on the wheel. And then we'll torque down these lug nuts. So here we are, friends. We've got our torque wrench out. It's set to 103 foot-pounds. I have my thin wall 19mm socket because there's limited space to get in between these lug bolts and the wheel. When we tighten these down, we're gonna go in a star pattern. Here, 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 here. And then if we decide to go around again, we'll do the same thing. But anyway, the reason for going in a star is essentially so as we're going around, if the wheel's cantered a little bit, it won't get stuck that way, and maybe the torque wrench thinks it's torquing it down to 103 like it's supposed to be, but it's a little bit cocked off to the side. Then you drive it down the road, hit a bump or whatever, everything starts loosening up, your lug bolts come out. Long story short, just tighten them in a star pattern. There we are. I always like to go around twice. Doesn't cost me anything, doesn't hurt me any, and it's a small price to pay for safety. Okay, all torqued up. Great job, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Visit 1AAuto.com for quality auto parts shipped to your door, the place for DIY auto repair. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the subscribe button.